Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all give me here. Thank you all so much for the speedy recovery messages you all sent me. I saw some in the comment section. I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about 11-year-old child, Mississippi boy, who was shot by a cop that he called because there was a situation in their house, and the mother asked him to call the cops, and he called the cops, and guess what? They responded. And when the boy turned around to go in, they shot him. I mean, this is 11-year-old child. He was unarmed. He does not have anything. He was not holding anything. Nothing. He was not holding anything. And he was shot. And I am asking, as I speak to you, the cop, nothing has happened. He is still okay. He goes to work. He comes back. And I don't know, but I think it's just God that wants that young boy, like that baby boy, to live. He was shot. He survived it. Thanks to God. But what if he did not survive it? And trust me, this trauma this young boy experience is going to last. It's a lifetime experience. Because he shot him and young boy was crying and was like, I called you to help me and you shot me. What did I do? Little boy did nothing wrong. And I don't even want to know how the mother will be feeling, because she was the one that asked the son to call the cops, and they responded and shot the young man. You know what? Stay goes to the screen. I am going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think. And straight up, I am rolling the clip.
Can we take a second to talk about the 11-year-old black child from Mississippi who, after he called 911 so they could come to protect his mom from being abused by her boyfriend, the police showed up and shot him. Not him as in the man who was doing the abuse, but shot him as in shot the 11-year-old boy. And you would think that either the officer who shot him or somebody else from the police department would have come to visit the boy while he was in the hospital, but no, not a single person from the police department showed up to be like, hey kid, we're sorry we shot you, you did nothing wrong. Instead, they released the abuser without filing any charges because the mother didn't file the right paperwork because, she was in the hospital taking care of her 11-year-old son who had just been shot by the police. Kind of hard to fill out the right paperwork when you're in the hospital because you're worried that your child might die because they were shot by the police. And do you think that this kid or any of his friends are ever going to call the cops again if they're in danger? And here's the worst part. When the cop got there, the cop said, hey kid, come out, it's safe. The kid turned a corner and got shot by the cop. How do you mistake this for a full-grown adult abusing somebody? Follow if you want to stay up to date on stories like this. How do you mistake this for a full-grown adult abusing somebody?
Because historically, police officers have always adultified black children. Black girls are often referred to as grown women. Black boys are often referred to as grown men. By completely ripping away the innocence that is given to most children, they get to blame them for the exact same type of things that they would blame adults for. Also, whenever they do whatever cruel, horrible thing they're going to do to the child, they justify it by telling themselves that this is an adult.
Can we take a second to talk about the 11-year-old black child from Mississippi who, after he called 911...
Because they don't give a fuck. That's why. I can't tell you how many times I've called the cops for a situation just like this. They didn't do a fucking thing. I had a 400-pound guy on top of a 100-pound woman stabbing her. I disarmed him, put him on the fucking ground, put him in cuffs, had the cops show up, only to uncuff him, let him go, and arrest her. And they tried to arrest me. I grew up in law enforcement. My entire family. I've seen the ins, the outs, all the corruption, all the little seedy things people talk about. Yeah, it's true. It is abso-fucking-lutely true. They are all corrupt as fuck. I say ACAB. I say 1312. I say fuck the police. If I'm around anyone and I see a cop, I yell, hooty-hoo! If I'm driving down the street and I see a fucking radar trap, I'll flash my headlights to warn the people coming my way there's a cop there. I don't like law enforcement. I don't trust them. They don't do their fucking job. They are a fucking disgrace. They've been militarized. They don't do a fucking thing. They're not fucking trained properly. I can keep going on and on. I can tell you fucking stories. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some good cops out there. But the thing is, they're all part of a corrupt system. And no matter how good of a person they are still a part of that corrupt system. And therefore, they are also corrupt themselves. Because if a cop gets pulled over by another cop, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, give me the ticket. I'll pay that. No. They are inherently immune from any wrongdoing that they do. Whether it be a fucking ticket or anything else. Why do you think law enforcement spouses are a lot of the fucking domestic abuse? They get away with it. Why do you think cops don't do anything about other people abusing people? Because they do the same fucking thing. And yes, as I said, there are good cops. There is a cop that will report a fellow officer. But here's the thing. When that cop reports that fellow officer, the person that they're reporting to doesn't do a thing about it. They sweep it under the rug. The officer who got reported on, nothing happens to them. But the officer that made the report now has a target on their back. They're told, if you ever call for backup, I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to help you. You will fucking die. They either quit, they get fired, or they die. Or they become corrupt themselves. So there are good cops until they are not good cops.
Not him as in the man who was doing the abuse, but shot him as in shot the 11-year-old boy.
See, I credit police officers potentially saving my life one time. But seeing stories like this so often, it's making it so hard to defend you guys. You need to start calling out these shitty police officers. Like, I don't want to say all cops are bastards, but whew, man, you are really making it hard to defend you guys.
Child from Mississippi who, after he called 911 so they could come to protect his mom.
Sure, let's talk about it. So far, this is the second video I've seen in regards to either a police officer or an ex-police officer in the state of Mississippi unaliving or shooting an unarmed black child. My question is, why are we still talking? Why hasn't it become open season on those racist ass police officers? Why are we still talking? Why? Why? Who's afraid to initiate some type of consequences? The system continuously fails us. It isn't until police officers start realizing what they're doing to people can easily happen to them at any given time on Sunday after church, then nothing will happen. This is the nucleus of nipping shit in the bud. Could you imagine what would happen to white people if black people were hung from trees and then like maybe a couple days later some white people were hung from trees by their ankles, gutted? Not saying that it would stop them, but it would damn sure make them think long and hard before they do some shit. Or at least to let them know that there is consequences and shit will happen. This is called complacency, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when we fail to do shit and people get comfortable and normalize doing these things to allow shit to be established to safeguard them. Nothing sends a message like something that travels 1,200 feet per second hitting someone smack dead in the fucking face. And that's all I got. Condolences to the family. But yet again, until we're ready to talk the language that America has established across the world, well, this shit is going to continue to happen. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of your fucking Thursday.
Not him as in the man who was doing the abuse, but shot him as in shot the 11-year-old boy.
He goes on to say that the police did not have the courtesy to visit the little boy when he was in the hospital. But do you know what he did have the courtesy to do?
Got there, the cop said, "Hey kid, come out, it's safe." The kid turned a corner and got shot by the cop.
Oh, America. This is actually a really grave situation, but I'll keep it mildly comedic so that at least you'll listen to the message. Hopefully. You scream about being a Christian nation, yet you are the first to abandon the same word of God that you shove on us. When will your hypocrisy cease? When will your hypocrisy cease? When will your pillaging and destruction and murder cease? When will your lying and stealing cease? When will you cease? It's not until everything is wrecked, huh? Oh, your time is coming. Your time is coming. The same word of God you're using to try to condemn others is the same word of God that will condemn you.
His mom from being abused by her boyfriend, the police showed up and shot him.
So I actually saw this video in the news before I saw it on TikTok, and I read the article. And for me, the saddest part was right after he was shot, he said, and of course, I'm thinking he's dead, you know. And then, but thank God he survived. After he got shot, he said, "What did I do? Why did he shoot me?" And he's completely justified in that fact. I mean, he's the one who called the police. It was announced, the mother announced that no one was armed in the dwelling, you know, and she was the victim, just notifying them because of the history. She's notifying them, you know, and then he shoots the 11-year-old for no reason.
Can we take a second to talk about the 11-year-old black child from Mississippi who, after he called 911,
so I got it from my friend Matt. I saw it and I was like, what? And I clicked it and I went to the story and I listened. I'm like, they shot that little boy? Like, I can't even. That shit brought like instant tears. Like, I have 2 7-year-old boys. Like, I can't even imagine if they called to protect me and they get shot in the fucking process. I'm so fucking stunned. Like, how do you shoot a child like that in their home when they call you to protect their parent?
So imagine that you're an 11-year-old boy and your mother slides you a telephone and asks you to call 911 because there's a domestic disturbance going on. You call 911. You tell the dispatcher that you need help at that address. The police show up, and less than a minute after being at said address that you called them to, they shoot you in the chest. Now, that is exactly what happened to 11-year-old Adrian Murray in Indianola, Mississippi. Within a minute of police arriving at the address that he called them to, Adrian had been shot in the chest. Adrian suffered a collapsed lung, a lacerated liver, and multiple fractured ribs from that gunshot. And as he lay on that apartment floor, he asked his mother, "Why did they shoot me? What did I do wrong?" Now, after being removed from the ventilator and the chest tube taken out of Adrian, he was released from the hospital on Wednesday. The officer involved in the shooting has been identified as Greg Capers, but the Indianola Police Department has yet to release any body cam footage associated with the shooting of an unarmed 11-year-old. Here's the information. You know the assignment. Let's get it.
Really, this is all we got from the stitches, and stories like this, like, make me question so many things. How do you, how, oh my goodness. What if this young boy, this baby boy did not survive? And how do you see 11-year-old child, this is just a baby, for crying out loud. He was not armed, nothing. The person that called you to come to help me, come and help me. And for him to turn back and you shot him, for what? He doesn't have any weapon. No weapon, no nothing. He's unarmed. And nothing is being done. I mean, I have covered how many stories within how many, in less than how many months, or like less than 2 months, right? And whew, no way. I mean, no way. No way how you are supposed to protect life and you are taking away life. Because the plan was, what if that child did not survive? I mean, I am sure the mother will regret ever telling him to call for help, because he was calling for help and ended up being shot. And the person they called on him to get arrested, they didn't do anything. I mean, man, the whole story sometimes, like, you know, some stories you listen to, you think it's like just a story, but it's a true life story. This is where I am going to draw the curtain. Thank you all so much for all the support, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.